One good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be in this bright, wonderful world we live in. Welcome to Got Mike. Here we go. Welcome to Got Mike, special live edition. I know you guys have been wanting me to do more pre-done, stuff, but there's an article I wanted to go through, and it's going to be really long, and it would take my son probably a week to do the editing on it. So I was just going to go through it, and slight apologies. Slight apologies. The last episode of Got Mike ended. I had mentioned this artwork featuring Arya, and then didn't show it. So here it is. Let me see if I can maximize this screen. Here we go. So here's some of the artwork I was referring to. These are two covers from A Clash of Kings. This one is Yoren, Gendry, and Arya escaping from the Lannister men, sort of in the beginning of A Clash of Kings. And there is our deceased friend, Michael Champion, on the ground. So there you go. I'll let you guys enjoy that for a moment. Here, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit, get some good details. Colored by the one and only Jane John Barry, also the colorist on my Injustice books. And he will be also coloring my own book, Lone Star, Part of the Hero, still available on Indiegogo. At this time. So just go to LoneStarComic.com if you want to check that out. I did not introduce myself. I am Mike S. Miller. I'm the artist of the Game of Thrones comic book covers, as well as the, as before aforementioned, Injustice over the last 5 years, and am now embarking on my own projects on Indiegogo. So that is the first one. Let's see if I can cycle through these. There we go. This is, I believe, issue 2. And this features Arya after Yoren has lopped her hair off to try to make her look like a little boy, and she's all kind of scruffed up and beat up. She's got her wooden sword that Syrio gave her to practice, and still has Needle at her side at this point. I don't know, I believe she's supposed to have gray eyes. But anyways, here's it's at Lami and Hot Pie, Gendry, Rorge. Is it Rorge the Sweetling? Is that one with the teeth? This is Jaqen H'ghar, and then just some of the other randos. This is not her list. When I show this artwork to people at conventions, they're always like, "Is this her list? The list of people she wants to kill?" And I'm like, "No, man. This is just for issue 2." So Syrio Forel Lives, Michael Pernesti in the chat says, are you one of these people who believes that Syrio is actually Jaqen H'ghar? Because I know that's a fan theory. I've never really bought into it. I think it would be kind of weird. Looks like EVS to the right of Arya. You guys are mean. All right, and so those are the two official Game of Thrones Clash of Kings pieces that I have done of Arya in recent times. I'll probably do another cover of her pretty soon. But then there's one more I did for fun. Arya and the Hound. Obviously, after Watterson, based on the Calvin and Hobbes style. This is a print I do sell at conventions and whatnot. Also available on my web store. But this is fun. This is fun. That would be a great piece, though, Mike. Arya's List. That would be a great piece. If I wasn't so busy doing other things, I might actually consider it. All right, now let's move on to articles. Oops. All right, apparently I need to close out of this. How do I? There we go. There we go. And then jump to... Here's a couple articles I want to get through. This is on Radio Times. A brief glimpse of Game of Thrones Season 8 leaves fans with theories and questions. Looks like Sansa is plotting something. Blink, and you'll miss it. In fact, many Game of Thrones fans did, wondering what all the fuss was about when the newly released HBO show reel featured clips from the last run of the fantasy drama series. But the more eagle-eyed quickly spotted that there was something new amongst the old, a precious glimpse of Season 8, labeled, just in case there was any mistake, final season, in which Sansa Clarke appears to share a hug with her half-brother Jon Snow on his return from their home of Winterfell, to their home of Winterfell. Yeah, so when it goes on to focus on this, well, they show it up here. This look on her, like this pensive, concerned stare of Sansa. What I find weird is this Sansa he's walking up to? Because look at the size. Unless the camera's just really low. This is a bigger person. Maybe it's just a low camera angle. I don't want to confound more theories, but yeah, I don't know. It's of course her face is going to suggest something else is going on, because something else is always going on in Game of Thrones. I'm sure she just got, word somehow about Jon and Dany like hooking up, the Targaryens, the uprising, the Lords of the North concerned about, teaming up the Targaryens and all this stuff. I don't know. I think they're trying to read too much into something that's probably blatantly obvious. So that's the little bit of news in Game of Thrones. Let me hide this thing today. But this I found the top 100 Game of Thrones characters. We are in a world, in a series where we have 100 characters, where you can actually have a top 100 because there's so many characters. I'm not even going to read their what they're saying here, but okay, let's see what their criteria is. The character's active participation in the show and influence on the narrative and significance in the show. How great or memorable a character is as a combination of strong writing, standout performance, impact on the legacy of Game of Thrones. For the purposes of this ranking, characters were judged on their merit only from their roles on the TV show, not on the novels. Animals, cute cats, dragons, direwolves, or otherwise are not included. Sorry. So number 100. Oh, are you serious? They're going all the way back to season 1, episode 1. Will, for those who forget, is the one who the White Walkers, the others, allowed to survive, and then he came running back. He escaped from the wall because he was a Night's Watch. He's a member of the Night's Watch, and he abandoned his post, which is a capital offense. And so he's the guy that Ned beheaded at the beginning. So I know it's been several years, and some of you probably saw this episode, but there he is. 99, Rickard Karstark. I believe Rickard was the one beheaded by Robb, right? Yes. Robb took off his head for that crime. He's flew off the handle, and he murdered 2 imprisoned Lannister boys, and that's why Robb lopped off his head. And this, I probably shouldn't go through all 98. All right, 98. Syrio's only 98? The aforementioned Syrio Forel, who in the books doesn't have any hair. But I kind of liked him with the hair, so whatever. Thank you. Yes, on the congrats on 3,000 subs. It's pretty fun. So yeah, some people speculate that Syrio is going to someday be revealed to be Jaqen H'ghar. I think that's a silly theory, but there it is. He was a cool character. Wish he'd have stuck around a little longer. Krasnis Mo Naklaz. Yeah, I don't think he even deserves to make the list. Lyanna Stark. Her brother Ned Stark accompanies Robert. Oh, so I'm like, Lyanna, she's so young. That's right. I guess in the flashback, this is the flashback scene, right? So Lyanna, Ned's sister, Jon's spoilers, John's mother. Not at this age, though. She was a little bit older. Syrio is life. 99 is great injustice. Right? Syrio deserves better than that. Maester Lewin. Servant to House Stark. Killed during the Ironborn takeover and Ramsay's sack of Winterfell. Yeah, that was shameful. Stupid Theon. Doran Martell. Prince Doran Martell. If they had done Doran the way he was in the books, he would be much higher in this ranking. He was a much cooler character in the books. He managed very little, managed to do very little, and live a very short while in the show. So I'm sorry, Prince Doran, you were ripped off. Leaf. Yeah, we don't see her in the books yet. So, oh wait, do we? Shoot, I'm getting my show and my books mixed up. I need to reread the last book. Yeah, so one of the children of the forest. 93. I don't know. It seems like some of these characters should be higher ranked than this. Marie Mazdur, the witch that ruined Dany's life. Yeah, 92. I might have made her lower. Janos Slint. Where was he? King's Landing. I'm trying to read here. Massacred at the late King Robert's bastard children. Yeah. Honestly, forgettable enough. Euron Greyjoy. 90? 90? No, I think Euron's going to play a much more important role. I think he should probably be at least top 50. And I really think they should have taken one of his eyes, because he has one eye in the books. 89. Lady Crane. Short time. Arya's stint as an assassin in Bravos. A major mark in the show. Arya's refusal to assassinate Crane for the faceless men that led to the Stark girls' ultimate return to Westeros. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're just throwing everybody in here, I guess. Qhorin Halfhand. Very much cooler in the books, I think. Name for the hand that was maimed in the fight with the wildlings. Was one of the most skilled and dangerous rangers of the Night's Watch. Yeah. He couldn't have any inkling of just how important Jon would be to the realm. But without his death, the story would have taken a very different turn. Yeah, was he was mentored? Yeah, he's the one, in the books, gosh, I can't remember if it happened this way in the show, but in the books he told Jon to kill him so that he could ingratiate himself with the wildlings. It's funny because, like, probably 95 of these characters, most show watchers don't even know their names. They're just like, oh, Robin Aaron, you know, that weird kid that sucks on the teat of his mother. Yeah, so Robin Aaron is that weird kid that sucks on the teat of his mother. Lisa Aaron. And then, you know, when she's killed, he becomes Lord of the Eyrie and Ward of Littlefinger. Jon killed Qhorin on the show as well. Right. But I don't remember. Did Qhorin tell him to kill him on the show? I don't recall. Yeah, Robert Aaron was the worst. It was even creepier that they aged him up, you know? Because it was creepy enough that he was like, how old was he? Like 10 or 12 in the book? And then they aged him up to like 15 or 16 or something. Ugh, creepy. Lisa Aaron. Such a creep. Yeah, Kat's sister. She went a little bit loopy, I think. 86. Yeah, 86 a decent ranking for her. Roz. Oh my gosh, Roz. I'm just going to skip on Roz. I don't think she's even that. I think she should have been up in the 90s. Over 3K subs. Game of Thrones. Hot Pie. I love Hot Pie. There you go. Hot Pie is one of Game of Thrones' most lovable characters. That's not necessarily saying much. Hot Pie is good. I'm hoping we do get a glimpse of him in season 8. He's at what's that place called? North Home? Is it North Home? Winter. He's not too far from Winterfell, and that's where a lot of the action I think is going to be taking place. So hopefully he'll make a little reunion again with Arya, in season 8. That would be nice. Mirren Trant. Yeah, they really douched this guy up in the show, although he was already a douche in the books. But they made him extra douchey, so you'd feel bad when he was killed by Arya. So, or not that you'd feel bad that he was killed, but just maybe you'd feel better that he was killed. Michael Pernesti, he never said to kill me outright, but he instigated Jon into doing it. Jon knew what he was doing to get him into the wildlings. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do. You know what I want to do? I'm gonna bring in some other YouTubers for this week's Night's Watch, and what I'd like to do, if everyone is game, is do a rewatch and reread of season 1, episode 1. So obviously watch the show and then read the chapters that coincide with the show. And then we can start that off for our discussion on the Night's Watch this week. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Selyse Baratheon. This is Queen Selyse, Shireen's mother. She's a terrible person. I feel sorry for her in the books, but gosh, I just didn't like her at all in the show. So, yeah, well. Poor Rickon Stark. So actor Art Parkinson, aka Rickon Stark, survives 7 seasons of Game of Thrones and has more lines in a single movie of what was that, Dracula Unveiled, or whatever, that new Dracula movie where he plays a kid in that movie. He seriously has more lines in that movie than he had in 7 seasons being on Game of Thrones. And then he gets an arrow in the back. Poor Rickon. Poor Rickon. A Stark that doesn't even make it into the top 50. Jorah Mormont. This is Jorah Mormont's father and the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch before Jon Snow. Rickon's death was tough to watch. I know. It was sad. Cool with John Malin. I don't know. Does John Malin know how to read? It might be hard for him to read the assigned chapters for homework. He might have to get the audiobook. The only audiobooks. I'm giving John a hard time. Is he here? I hope he's here, because I'd hate to talk smack about him if he wasn't here. I only like talking smack about John when he is here, because it's no fun if he's not. Yeah, the old bear. So this is the guy, for those who don't remember, who gives Jon Longclaw, the sword that should have gone to Jorah, but Jorah disgraced himself by being a slaver or selling slaves, and that's why Ned Stark banished him. When honestly Jorah should have spent the rest of his life at the Wall with his father. But there you go. That's how it happened. The Waif. I disliked this character in the show. The Waif essentially served one purpose in Bravo's House of Black and White: to continuously piss off Arya Stark and the viewers. 79. I don't know if I'd have ranked her even that high. 1-1. This upset me. We essentially got one giant. In the books, there's several giants. It's not like there's just one giant north of the Wall. They're trying to save everyone, and they saved all the giants. One Wig Wondar One, affectionately known as 1-1. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen more giants. We didn't get enough of them. Hyatt Free. Creeper. Look at that guy. He doesn't even have any makeup on. He just looks that creepy all the time. Budget. I know, Ray Hulu. I know it's budget. Besides the White Walker's glimpse in the shows, Pirate Pri was one of the first overtly magical characters we met on Game of Thrones. That's a wonderful thing about Game of Thrones. Is there's essentially, like, other than the opening chapter of season 1 or book 1 Game of Thrones, there's like no there's like no magic in the book, right? It's all magic is like legend, magic is lore, magic is something that happened that people just believe in, or don't believe in. You got, it's like the Force. I'd rather have a good blaster at my side than some magical force. Michael Pernesti says, when you started doing Game of Thrones content, I immediately started yet another watch through of the series. Oh, right on, right on. Yeah, I gotta do that. I've been going through Clash of Kings, the book, because I'm doing the covers. But yeah, so yeah, a little bit of magic here, and then yeah, we finally got the dragons, and that seemed like magic too. Obara Sand, another wasted character. The Sand Snakes were trivialized. But anyways, I don't want to take forever, so I can't spend 5 minutes on every character. Ed Tollett. Edison Tollett. Dolores Ed. What do you think? You guys think Dolores Ed is going to make it to the end of season 8? Because I know there's going to be a lot of culling. Wraithulu poos on the TV Sand Snakes. I agree with that. Carl Hungus, Mike, have you read any of George's sci-fi? A little bit. Not enough to comment. Yeah, Dolores Ed. I would not give him good odds making it all the way through to the last episode, or at least through to the end. The Three-Eyed Raven. The last Targaryen. Well, you guys know that he's a Targaryen, right? It doesn't even say it in here. Three-Eyed Raven was one of the most mysterious characters looming over Game of Thrones, starting his first appearance in actual Raven brand season 1. It lasted right up until blah blah blah. Lucky cast considered. Becoming the importance of a role, playing a lot of backstory, blah blah. They don't even mention it. This is Meister Aemon's brother. Gosh, his name is Aemon. I can't remember which one. The Three-Eyed Raven is a Targaryen. He should have been king, but he darn it, I am totally blanking on his backstory. Does anybody remember his name? Any of you true fans remember his first name? You have Bloodraven. Oh yes. So he's oh my gosh. I drew this guy in Mystery Night. What the heck? Why is my brain farting? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. 1,000 eyes and one has he. No, he's not Daemon Blackfire. All right, hold on a second. I gotta grab my book. The Mystery Knight, the Mystery Knight. He's a bastard. Brynden Rivers, thank you. Yeah, he's a bastard, but he's still a Targaryen. Oh, that's right. No, he wasn't supposed to be king. That's right. You're right. I'm totally screwing up. Everyone is saying Brynden Rivers. Thank you. Yeah, Hand of the King, Lord Commander is the Night's Watch. And then he went off on a ranging and never came back and shows up 100 years later. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I think importance-wise, he should be way higher than 74. Viserys. The douche that is Viserys Targaryen. Lost to the family coin. Turned out to be a whiny, vengeful... Yeah. He would have been another mad king should he have ever sat the Iron Throne. But that's what it's like, apparently, for the Targaryens. There's never too many wishy-washies. You're either an absolute tyrant or you're a noble king. Tommen Baratheon, short was his reign, short was his stature, gold was his crown, and gold was his shroud. Poor kid. Balon Greyjoy, not the nicest of characters, and not a terribly wonderful father figure either. Rest in peace, Tommen. Rest in peace, Balon Greyjoy. 70, into the 70s. Mance Rayder. Mance Rayder. Oh, there's somebody they theorize Mance to actually be, who went over the wall. Oh, there's so many fan theories, I freaking forget them all. Tommen rage quit. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah, I like this actor. He plays Julius Caesar in Rome. Siren Hines. The theory is Arthur Dayne. Oh, there you go. That's right. The theory. I don't buy it. I don't buy that theory. But there is a fan theory that Arthur Dayne, who was the greatest swordsman of the Kingsguard at the time, who fought Ned and Howland Reed at the Tower of Joy, along with Gerald Hightower and sorry, I'm gonna sit here and try to think of all these names. It's gonna take up all this time. But anyways, he was the 3 against the 7, and some people theorize that he survived that battle and ended up just taking the black and going beyond the wall. But I don't know. I don't know if that theory's legit. I think that's. I am always wondering about Ashara Dayne. Yeah, that gets into that other theory about Jon not actually being who we've seen Jon to be, which doesn't make sense to me. So, hey, there's Jon right there. Crasta, what kind of dark secrets did you have, Crasta? How did you make a pact with the others that allowed you to live beyond the wall? Giving away your children, your male children, to become whites. Others. What a terrible, terrible wretch of a man Craster is. And yet, everybody's got deals with Craster. The freaking Walkers have deals with, not Walkers, the others have deals with Craster. The Night's King has a deal with Craster. The Night's Watch has a deal with Craster. The Wildlings have a deal with Craster. Craster is like, they should have named him Crafty. But yeah, good guy. Well, not good guy. Maester Aemon. This is the one who should have been king. Maester Aemon. Aemon Targaryen, brother to Ed. Ed the what was it? Aegon the Unlikely. Not Ed. Egg. Yeah, the theory that Ashara Dayne is actually Dany's mother. Dany's mother? What? Are you writing that right, Carl? I was pretty sure Ashara Dayne as Jon's mother was the theory. I haven't even heard Dany's mother. That's the problem with Game of Thrones. Is the fan theories. People pick out like one tiny little thing, and then they build these tinfoil hat theories on everything. Sort of like my ice and fire as the swords theory, but I think that might be legitimate. But we'll have to see. Although, going back to Dany's vision of Rhaegar saying that his son's song is the song of ice and fire, I take that to mean, I mean, if we're just going literally off of that Jon is of House Stark and of House Targaryen, ice and fire. So if that's his song, it's because he is the first since oh, who's that gal? Son of, was it Makar? One of Makar's daughters? Oh gosh, darn it! There's too much history. I can't remember it all. Anyways, Meister Eamon, hate to see you go. I think 68 is probably pretty low for him. He should have probably been in the 50s too. Mace Tyrell. Look at that outfit. That is pretty good though. The outfit. That's, you know, he should be in all white armor. He should be decked out with flowers and you know, all that kind of stuff. That is probably one of my biggest complaints about Game of Thrones, the show, is their lack of correlation to the armor in the as described in the books. This is probably one of the best suits of armor correlating to what a House Tyrell suit of armor would look like. So it'd be funny if Jon stayed dead in the books. Meister Pycelle. Oh. I like how they used him in the show, how they made him out to just be a full-on freaking, basically a scam artist. Probably adequately ranked here. Lancel Lannister. Poor Lancel. What a tool. Yeah, everybody knows what Lancel did, so. Ollie. Oh, Ollie. Et tu, Ollie? Ollie was the Brutus of the Night's Watch. Asha. Poor Asha. Did we? Oh, man, I'm drawing a blank. Did we see Asha's end in the show? We did not. I mean, in the show we did. But in the books, I wonder if she goes out the same way. Man, I wish George would finish his books so I could freaking read them. You have failed me for the last time. Rip Ollie. Alistair Thorne. I thought this actor did a great job of creating Alistair Thorne from the books. Boy, you just really didn't like him. In the books, she is in Skagos. Yeah, I thought she just kind of buggered off in the books, didn't she? Do a drawn and quartered Game of Thrones edition. Talisa Magar. I'm just gonna skip her. She wasn't even in the freaking book, was she? I don't think she was even in the book. Someone's gonna correct me. Anything I'm wrong on, you guys are gonna jump on me. I know. I haven't reread a lot of the books in a long time, so it's not like I have them memorized. Fake character dead. Qyburn, the would-be maester. Gendry. Oh, wait. I really hope they do something with Gendry. I want to see Gendry back in action. 59. Yeah, it might be a decent ranking for him. Benjen stock. Yes. Uncle Benjen disappearing beyond the wall, coming back as apparently, as I'm told, they merged Benjen and Cold Hands together, and there was a note in one of you guys in the chat told me this before, that because the fan theory has always been that Cold Hands is Uncle Benjen, but that there was a question in one of the scripts or a version of the book or something that where George was asked outright if Benjen was Cold Hands, and in notation he says no. So that, yeah, makes me wonder who Cold Hands actually is. Maybe Cold Hands is Mance Rayder. Who knows? Yeah. So Benjen, I did like Benjen coming back as the merged Cold Hands, whatever you want to call him. with that friggin' flaming ball of fire thing killing. He was cool. He was cool. Sir Barristan Selmy. This is the favorite character of our own Edwin Boyett. If we do the Gate of Thrones comic, Edwin will be Barristan. Barristan the Bold got ripped off. Yeah, he did. He did. He was a great character. Edmure Tully. I just really dislike this guy in the show, and I don't know if it's the actor or the role. Probably a bit of both. He is a weak-willed cuck of a man. He probably doesn't deserve the 56th role number on this chart. Beric Dondarrion. Oh, Beric was great. He doesn't sound like that either. Edmure sucks at archery. I realized the other day that I'm 2 years older than Edwin. I'm so depressed. I'm 2 years older than Edwin too, so what does that make me? Beric was cool. Beric was definitely cool. Beric appeared in a blink and you missed him moment back in season 1, played by a different actor initially. Really, I didn't even notice that. Oh wait! He was in the tourney of the hand, right? I believe. Oh gosh, now I do have to go back and rewatch season 1. Rebounded in a big way in season 3 as the off-resurrected leader of a group of neutral Riverlands resistance fighters called the Brotherhood Without Banners. Yes, Beric's awesome. 55. I'd have bumped him up a little bit. I'd have bumped him up a little higher than 55. Missandei. Ned sends him after the mountain in the throne room. Oh, does he? Okay. Who do we see? Oh, we see not Beric. The priest. The priest with the flaming sword, blanking on his name. That brings Beric back. Come on, guys. Help me out here. Thoros. Yes. Thoros of Mir. Ray Thulu, I might upjump you and have you come into the Night's Watch. Don't know, maybe. How many of you guys are so into this that you would bring your A game to an episode of the Night's Watch if I brought you in as fans? Because I just want people who know these books inside and out. And obviously some of the regular Comicsgate people don't have a clue what they're talking about. I have no microcam. If you have a cell phone and a headset, you can do it without the picture. Thank you, Bruno. Choke. I'd forget everything. I'd choke and forget everything. Yeah, I brought Pixel Trader in the other night, and he just clammed up and he's like, "Oh, there were like 200 people watching me." So he couldn't say anything. Miss Andy. 54. Jojen. Ah, poor Jojen. So, Bloodraven, or the Three-Eyed Crow, says that Jojen kind of knew what he was getting into. Like he knew that this was his end, because he did nothing. He didn't even lift a finger to save him. Poor Jojen. I thought Jojen and Mira were probably two of the best cast characters in Game of Thrones. I thought that the casting in the first season was, I mean, with few exceptions, it was not great casting. I mean, I think they all did great jobs, but I don't think that it was all great casting. Ned Stark was my favorite as Eddard. But when they cast Jojen and Mira, I'm like, man, they are perfect. These actors are perfect for these characters. So Yeah, he has. Well, he knew he was dead from the moment he set off on the journey. That's right. Thoros of Mir. There he is. He is not. He looks nothing like he's described in the book that I can recall. But I still loved him as a character in the show. So 52. Another character I would have put at least in the top 50, but that's close enough. That's close enough. Brendan the Blackfish Tully. I wish we'd have seen him more in the books and in the show, actually. Dynamo, do you know any other sci-fi and fantasy series in this much detail, or is it only Game of Thrones? Yeah, I would probably say I know Game of Thrones better than most things. I don't know. It's a good question. Shay. Oh, Shay. Oh, Shay, you daft little girl. Yeah, she deserved it. She deserved it. I didn't feel bad for her at all when she was having the life choked out of her. Is that bad? Oh, Hodor. Hodor. Hey, Hodor, hold that door. Is it too soon? Is it too soon? Oh my gosh. So obviously Hodor, that was one of the first deaths past the books that shocked everyone. And wow, what a great thing. What did you make of the hold to the door thing? I thought it was great. I thought it was poetic. I mean, yeah, I thought that was really well done. I've actually seen this dude, Christian Narn, at Alamo City Comic Con a few years ago. He's a DJ, so Shay was even more unlikable in the books. You know. Horror! Khal Drogo. There's the man, Jason Momoa. At least he made it in at the top 50. He should probably be a little higher, but yeah, Khal Drogo. So great. That was in season 1 as far as casting. Yeah, you couldn't have got much better than Jason Momoa for Khal Drogo. So he is a DJ. Okay, sorry. Aquaman. Loras Tyrell. Look at poor young Iron Fist. Dashing knight Sir Loras was our first introduction to House Tyrell, and the first person to put a bug in his lover Renly's ear about becoming king. You know what's funny is in the books, this is all innuendo. This is all suggested, joked about, you know, like, what do you call them? Gossiped about, but it's never implied explicitly that Loras and Renly are having a relationship. And in the show, you go straight downtown. And I'm like, oh, come on. Can we have a little nuance like we did in the show? Because having the nuance in the show gave the relationships with Marjorie and with Sansa. Is it Sansa? No, with Marjorie. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sansa had the hots for Loras. But it gave that more tension, you know, more gravitas. But when you went straight, you know, to what they went to, I can't even say it on my show. Man, you took all that out. It's like they went for shock value rather than nuance. And I was, yeah, I know, subtlety from HBO. Surely you just, right. Renly. Did I not say Renly? I thought I said Renly. Dario Naharis, the man who changed faces and hairdos. One so funny. Like, do you remember the guy that played him in the first season or the second season? Was it the first season? Second season. He was clean shaven, long like blonde hair, and then you go to this guy, and it's like, man, you couldn't even try to make them look relatively similar. That was funny. Anyways, Hilaria Sand. Yeah, again, the Dornish plot, not great. She does things completely out of character from the books. Yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan. The High Sparrow, Jonathan Pryce. I love Jonathan Pryce. I think he did a very good job. So I'll let him keep his 44th ranking. Jaqen Hagar. Yes. You guys want to see my Jaqen Hagar? Let me see. Oops. And let me see. Where is it? There we go. Show view options. Yeah, show view options. Hello. What the heck? Heck. What is the great googly boogly going on here? Okay, open with. Why is it taking so long? Oh my gosh, just quick view anything. Oh, I must have picked two things. Oops. This is the blue lines for Melisandre burning the statues of the seven. There we go. There's my Jaqen Hagar. What thinkest thou? Because it's actually me. It's actually a drawing. I took a picture of myself and copied it. So this is Jaqen, offering Arya the three lives. So, anyways, there's mine. And back to the show. I watched Viper versus the Mountain earlier today. First time I saw it, I kept saying, "Step back, buddy. I wish you listened." Jaqen. I wonder if he'll play a role in the last season. It would be a pity if he didn't. He's such a great character. Renly Baratheon. Again, so poorly cast. So poorly cast. This is one of the castings that pissed me off the most in the show. Renly is supposed to... Freaking Jason Momoa would have been better cast as Renly Baratheon. Even though he is a man of color, he is the build, the stature, and the attitude of Renly Baratheon. Instead, I mean, a good actor or not, this kid had no gravitas whatsoever. Yeah, he played a fop. He's not a warrior. He should have been the Hulk of a man. He should have been the image of Robert in his prime. And instead, you get this pencil-necked, freaking weak-wristed fop. And no, so poorly cast. Ugh! He had negative gravitas, Mr. L says. I would agree. I would agree. Shireen Baratheon, she did fine. She did well. And she died well. Poor Shireen. Poor Shireen. Mira Reed, again, great casting. I thought she was very, very well cast. She played her part very well as well. Yeah, so great. I liked her. Podrick Payne. Pod! Oh, Pod. I love how Pod just jumped around from being Squire from Tyrion to Brienne, and one of those characters that nobody remembers his name, but he's like always there. Yeah. Although I don't think he plays an important enough role to be in the below the top 50. I don't get this. Their ranking here is weird. I think they threw them all together and just dumped numbers on them. Yara Greyjoy, or Asha, as she's known in the books. Don't think she was well cast either, but I thought she did a well enough job in the book, or in the show. Grey Worm, again, poorly cast. He did a good job as the actor, but one of the things about when they snip your bip to become a eunuch, you become a hulking warrior. These are guys who freaking from youth, from infancy in some cases, have been trained daily to be the biggest, toughest, baddest warriors around. And they cast Obama. This skinny, weak, no. I mean, come on, man. Go find a freaking an athlete, someone with some gravitas, some freaking muscles on him. Grey Worm should have been scary. Oh, one of my favorite and probably one of the best cast characters, Tormund the Giant's Bane. Oh, this guy's great. Yeah, thanks, Obama. He's great and just brings so much charisma. I mean, just the you know, he's not in a lot. But he's got these great scenes. He's full of charisma. I'd like to see him in other stuff where he plays bigger roles. But yeah, keep that beard, lad. Keep that beard. Gilly. Very well cast. I have to say, I think that Gilly from the books is supremely well cast. She does a great job of kind of being playing between assertive and what's the word? Not mealy. Well, anyways, I don't want to get it. But yeah, she's like bordering on pretty, like Doug says, Gilly hot also. But I think she's like bordering on pretty and kind of not so much. So I think she's really well cast. I think she does a good job. I think most people do a really good job. Robert Baratheon, unfortunately, gosh, he did a really good job portraying Robert, but no, Robert should have been huge, like I mean, like a former NFL star linebacker that just put on 100 pounds, you know. That should have been Robert. Mark Addy's a great actor. He played the role well, but he's such a little fat guy. I mean, he doesn't look like he's ever had an ounce of muscle under those layers of fat. And Robert is just a man no longer in his prime who's been living the high life for, 15, 13 years in the books. Yeah, Robert as big as the mountain? No, not as big as the mountain. But Robert should have been 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", something around there. And just the hulk of a man. I mean, yeah, I mean, the Baratheons. Did you know that the Baratheons are actually descended from Targaryens? The first Baratheon came over with Aegon Targaryen. He was the bastard son of I forget, but he was a bastard. He was a bastard Targaryen, and came over with Aegon, and I guess founded the House Baratheon. So there you go. Doug is 6'8". Gregor Clegane. There you go. I mean, there's not a lot of actors. I guess they use multiple actors for this guy. Not a lot of guys that could get to play the mountain that rides. Yes, thank you for the 3,000. 3,000 subs and climbing. So yeah, I can't say anything about his casting. I think he did a good enough job. He doesn't say a lot in the books either. So, the Night King. The Night King. What can I say? In terms of importance, they still have this guy at 32. He's the big bad of the entire series. He probably should have been top 10. He looks younger than Sandor. Well, it's not the years, it's the mileage. Ygritte. Oh, Ygritte. Probably, again, one of the best cast characters. You know, Ygritte's not supposed to be, like, gorgeous. She's supposed to kind of be oddly cute. So maybe this gal is a little cuter than Ygritte should have been. But still, you know, you're not going to, like, find a lot of actresses with jacked up teeth and crooked noses and stuff like that. So, you know nothing, Jon Snow. You know nothing. You know, I have a piece. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Jon Snow. Let me see if it's still on my computer. John? And Ygritte. Nope, I don't have it. Sorry. I'd rather her be cute. Yeah, she was in Downton Abbey. We are into the 30s. Samwell Tarly. Samwell. Very, very well cast Samwell Tarly. I think he played very well in the book. Kit married her. Oh, did he really? I should have known that. Very well cast, very well played, Samwell. Yes. Good. Walder Frey. Walder Frey also very well cast. As a craven, petty, and resentful Riverland's lord, Walder Frey was disliked by everyone. And he met a good end. Let's see. That is something I do have. Here. Here's something that I made for that episode where Walder Frey met his end. We have Cooking with Arya. She's serving up that delicious pastry for Walder Frey. All right. Let's see. 29, 28. Oberyn Martell. So good. He played that role very, very well. Very well. And fun story. So my brother obviously had not read the books, and he was going on and on about how his new favorite character was Oberyn Martell. Now, my brother lives in Portland, so I don't get to see him that often. But the week I did come to visit was the week that the episode of the Mountain versus the Viper was on. And I just got to sit there watching him. And when when the Mountain crushes Oberyn's skull, the look on my brother's face was just so classic, and he's like, I hate George R.R. Martin. It was so great. But then I had a signing with George at San Diego that year. So I have this print of the Mountain versus the Viper. Let me see if I can find that one. Let me see. Yes, Viper and the Mountain. So I have this print, if it'll ever load. Quick look. So I took this to George, and I had him sign it to my brother. And so he signed, I'm sorry that I killed your prince. And I gave it to my brother. So I guess he was happy about that at the very least. So there's my Mountain versus the Viper as described in the books. Again, one of my things about the show is they veer so far away from the armor as described in the books that it's it's kind of, it irritated me more than anything else. You know whose armor I hated in the show? Renly. He was supposed to be in this gorgeous almost iridescent green armor. You know, he should have looked like a shining green freaking fig beetle. And they give him that freaking crappy little armor thing. Ah, so annoying, so annoying. So, anyways, back to the list. Oberyn Martell, we never knew ya. Sorry, buddy. Robb Stark, he doesn't even make the top 20. What is wrong with this list? What was the Northman armor supposed to look like? The Northman? Be more specific. Which Northman? There are many houses. Do you mean the wildlings? Is that classic Dornish armor or specific to him? It's specific to his description in the book. So Robb Stark, we never knew ya. I think Robb, out of House Stark, by the way the books go, I would say Robb and Ned were probably the closest cast to the way the books are described. And yeah, sorry, Red Wedding, buddy. Don't go to Red Weddings. Roose Bolton. The man you love to hate. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on. I don't want to do this all day. My goodness. New York City is waiting. Ramsay Bolton. Wow. If there had ever been a character you hated more than Joffrey, there he is. Ramsay Bolton. The man who loves sausage in all its shapes and forms. Ramsay. Yeah, you know, I mean, you don't even get how vile of a person. I mean, you get how vile of a person he is in the show, but it's like 2 levels deeper how vile he is in the books. So, for those of you who have not read the books yet, I would highly recommend Olenna Tyrell, who I think gets so much more play in the show than she does in the books, because there's certainly no. All the books are written from people's particular viewpoints, perspectives. So there are 6 80-minute episodes left. They don't have time for new plot lines. Yeah, really. Did Ramsay eat the sausage? Ramsay did eat a sausage. I won't speculate as to which one it was. Anyways, Olenna Tyrell, and I did absolutely love her in the show. Makes me wish she had more time in the books, actually. Jorah Mormont, the man who loves his queen. Way too handsome. Way too handsome for the character. Jorah in the books is one ugly, mashed face of a man. This guy, no, he's Ian Glenn. Sir Friendzone, as he is known to Ray the Lou here. But no, what a great character. What a great character. Probably should have been top 20 as well. Or maybe I'm just not keeping track of how many characters there are. Stannis, and they put Stannis in his last scene. That's messed up. Yeah, Stannis. I argued that he was a man of honor, but maybe he was more a man of ambition. Yeah, I don't know. Stannis, where'd we lose you, man? You went off in the wrong direction. Bronn. I thought when they first cast Bronn that they had cast him poorly because he should be much younger. But I love so much what the actor has done with him that I'm over it. Man, he plays Bronn so bloody well. I think he should have been top 20, but 21, close enough. Marjorie Tyrell. Oh, Natalie Dormer. I actually thought Natalie Dormer would have been better cast as Daenerys. I always pictured Daenerys as much more I sort of picture the Targaryens as having more of an elfin quality. And look at this face. Look at Natalie Dormer, especially as a blonde. Go look up some pictures of Natalie Dormer as a blonde, because she's a natural blonde. And I think her face would have been great. Just absolutely great. So, anyways. But second place, Marjorie Tyrell. Theon. Oh, Theon. Poor Theon. You know, he and Varys have a lot in common now. Poor thing. Yes, we all know what happens to Theon, and he's probably got the most interesting story arc of a confused personality, maybe in the entire books, because his growth is so all over the place, like depending on who he's trying to impress. He's a person of such little character that he's just like a cipher for whoever is controlling his reins, but he's always thinking he's doing the right. I don't know. He's such a mess. He's such a mess. He probably deserved to get his little bits cut off. Do you actually have sympathy for Theon? I don't think he burned those kids alive. And no, I don't. Sympathy? No, I think he deserved it. He deserved it. Off with his nuts. Well, not his nuts, but off with his bits. He's gender neutral. Actually, I think he probably still has his jewels. He just doesn't have his delivery system. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try. Melisandre. Oh, Melisandre. Melisandre, if some theories are true, will be the flaming heart which will quench the sword that will be carried by the reborn Azor-Ahai. But we shall see. We shall see. But yes, definitely a top 20 character. The Hound. Oh, the Hound. Yeah, everybody loves the Hound. Melisandre is a bait and switch. The Hound was a bait and switch. That's what's great about Game of Thrones, is so many of the characters start off one way, and then George flips the script on them. I mean, when you first meet the Hound, you think he's horrible. You think he's a monster. He thinks he's a monster. You know, and then and then you hear his story and you start to feel sympathy for him, and then he like tries to become a good man. Yeah, it's a lot of the characters in Game of Thrones go through these kind of arcs, just like, you know. Anyways, the Hound is realistic. Sandor is off the chain. Bran Stark. I think Bran should be top 10. Well, I don't know. Let's see who they have as top 10. Joffrey. They put Joffrey ahead of Bran? Oh, come on. I mean, I know John Malin would appreciate that. John Malin would probably want Joffrey to be number 1. But yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Joffrey, the Purple King. The Purple King. Hater Baelish, Littlefinger. I told you not to trust anyone. Yeah, Jaime is a similar in story to the Hound. Sort of. Jaime, I don't know if Jaime changed, though. Jaime had been living with the regret of what he had to do, but was, I don't know, he's a man who's willing to do what he has to do, even if what he has to do is incredibly bad. Anyways. Oh, the most confusing accent ever. Littlefinger. I thought he was well cast as well. Yeah, and he's always going to play bad guys after this. Although I saw him in some movies before where he didn't. So, 13, Brienne, the maid, the beauty of Toth, Gwendolyn Christie. Gwendolyn Christie, not really ugly enough to play Brienne of Toth, but she does a good job. She does a fine job. I think she's a fine actress, and I think, yeah, actually, it's funny. Of the characters in the book, probably the one with their own point of view that I can't stand the most is Brienne. I freaking hate Brienne's chapters in the books, but I really like her in the show. So, but when I was okay, when I read the books, I picture Brienne as what's her face from Shrek, Fiona. I picture. I don't know why. I know she's not supposed to be green or an ogre, but when I picture her, and for some reason I can't get it out of my mind in the books when she's described. I just picture Fiona from Shrek. Sorry, Brienne. Number 12, Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight. William Cunningham, the Onion Knight. Yeah, great character. Let me tell you about my bones. Let me tell you about the bones and the purse and the necklace round my neck. In Game of Thrones world, there aren't many characters that are consistently likable and genuine without suffering a quick and terrible fate. Davos Seaworth, as of now, is one of those characters. Yeah, he is. He's great. He's great in the books. He's great in the show. So his bone sack. He does a very good job. Sansa Stark doesn't even make top 10. I like Sansa a lot more in the show than I did in the books. There's another character in the books that I just freaking couldn't stand. But that's fine. That's fine. I mean, you can't like everybody because you have to root against people, right? So Sansa started Game of Thrones as the least likable member of the Stark family, is an understatement. Yeah, that's right. Number 10, Catelyn Stark. Now, that's funny because she hasn't even been in the last 3 or 4 seasons, right? And they have her as top 10. I would have put other characters in the top 10, but this is not my list. Maybe I should do my own list sometime. And I really, really am sad because with this cloak, just this over her head, dull her face down a little bit, put scratch marks all over her. Man, that's uncat right there. Lady Stoneheart. That's right. I thought she did a fine job, but she did not capture Catelyn to me from the books. Died in season 3. I really wish they had brought her back. Catelyn, undead or undead Cat Stark would have been freaking great. But yeah, they would have had to tack on a couple extra seasons. Number 9, Varys the Spider. Connie's Hill. This guy's hilarious. If you ever watch any of the like the Game of Thrones, what are those things? The panels at Comic-Con, and this guy's on. Man, he's funny. He's a funny guy, and I think he's very well cast and very well played. He does a great Varys. So yes. Number 8, Tywin Lannister. I would no longer give you the throne. No. Here's great anything else. Just got here. What's this list about? It's the top 100 Game of Thrones character list by IGN. Tywin, top 10. Yeah, probably. He did a great job. Charles Dance, he did play Tywin fantastically. So he's much more unlikable in the books than he is in the show. Eddard, number 7. When I return, you and I will talk about your mother. Liar! Poor Eddard. We barely knew you. Yeah, it was such a shock in the books when they when George killed him. Oh my gosh! And that is when I learned. I learned very early not to have a favorite character because he was my favorite character. So after that, people would ask, and I'd be like, "No, no, I have no favorite characters." I learned that well and early. Jaime Lannister, number 6. I think he does a fine job. I don't know. I really think, I wish they had tried to stick closer to the descriptions in the books. These guys are supposed to be like very light-haired, blonde, like not like Targaryens, but like they could have been like offshoots or whatever. And then he cuts his hair short and it gets really dark. And then same thing with freaking Tyrion, man. It's like, do you remember the first season? They actually tried to make him blonde. And then now I don't know what the heck color he is. The color his hair is. It looks almost orange. But no, he does a good job. He plays a good Jaime. So not complaining. Not complaining. Arya and the number 5, top 5, Arya Stark. Arya's journey has had a few rough patches, both in terms of what the character has been through and stretches where the writers seem to struggle to give her something interesting. Oh, that's a terrible thing to say. Sean Bean is a walking spoiler. Yeah, so Arya, again, miscast initially, but she owns the role. So, like I said before, Arya in the books is described as having a very long face and not cute. She goes by Arya Horseface and has more of the Stark features. So the long nose, the long face. But there it is. Mike's Callie Scott fake accent impersonation. Sorry. So Arya, number 5. Number 4, Cersei Lannister. Cersei. Also, I think, gosh darn it. I don't know. I think Cersei should have been prettier. I mean, she's pretty. And she plays the role very well. So I don't want to get too negative. But yes, Cersei, the woman everyone loves to hate. She has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. She's not even a particularly good mother. And yes, shame, shame, shame on her. Can't wait to see her. Well, there is a theory. Everyone thinks she's going to die because of the what is that? There's the I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of everything. You know, the Maggie the Frog gave her that vision or that prognostication, the prophecy about her being killed by a little brother. Yeah, no, the name of the prophecy. That's what I was trying to think of. The Valonqar, not the Vaynqar, the Valonqar. And yeah, so, but I don't think she'll die. I don't know. You never know, but I think she might be dragged off and forced to live the rest of her life as a salt wife on the Iron Islands, and that would just be hilarious to me. So live a life of torment as a salt wife. I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that more so than just seeing her lose her head. Living in misery might be better. Jon Snow, Kit Harington. Everybody loves Jon. Everybody loves Jon. Now, the question, I suppose, does Jon survive to the end? this bittersweet ending that George describes for Game of Thrones, does it end with Jon's head on a platter? Antoine asks who I think the Valonqar is. I don't know. I think it's described so accurately as Tyrion that it cannot be Tyrion. And I think it's so on the nose about her dying that she probably doesn't die. I think it becomes metaphorical. And so it's possible that Euron Greyjoy is the younger brother, the young brother, right, to Balon, that drowns her in tears because he claims himself the drowned god. And like I said, her death could be the death of all of her dreams, all of her hopes, all of her ambitions, all of her family, and she ends up a salt wife on the Iron Islands. It's a stretch, but I think I'd rather see that than what has come out as just so obvious, right? So that's my theory. Jon, I'm gonna give probably 5-1 odds. Jon ends up dead a second time. Do I think the trumpet will play any part? It sure as heck should. It should, but writers. Number 2, Daenerys Targaryen, as book readers know her, Dany. Again, I didn't think she was cast well, but she does own the part. And aside from the first season of just horribly bad wigs, they did somehow manage to get her a good wig fitter for the subsequent seasons, so her hair does look natural. Oh my gosh, her wigs look so bad in season 1. I couldn't stand it. Every single episode, I was like, that is such a bad wig. She's too short. Well, she might be too short, but when she started, she was supposed to be 17. Obviously, in the books, she's 14. Does she end up going back to Valeria? That's another one of my little theories. The 3 heads of the dragon. See, in biblical prophecy, they'll describe something as having 7 heads or 10 crowns, and it means positions. It doesn't necessarily mean people. So it could be Dany is Azor Ahai. I always mispronounce that. And she wears the crowns of King of Westeros, of Meereen, and as of the Dothraki. So she could be the 3-headed dragon all by herself because she rules over 3 kingdoms. Or maybe another king. I don't know. Maybe she'll become king of the north. So yeah, she could do it by herself with her and Jon's baby at her side. And that might be the bittersweet ending of a Game of Thrones. You never know. We will have to find out. I wish I knew already because the books were in my hands, but alas. And who do you guys think number 1 is? Could you take a shot in the dark who the number one character, according to IGN, is in Game of Thrones? A drum roll, please. It's Tyrion Lannister. Peter Dinklage. Peter Dinklage. All right. Due to budget constraints, Tyrion still has a nose and is not horribly ugly. But again, look at this hair. He should be blonde. This is not blonde. Killing me. Liam, Australian $5. My theory. Snow is killed. Dany dies in childbirth. The prince that is promised is a dwarf from inbreeding and must be raised by Tyrion. Well, again, the vision, or perhaps seeing into the past or something in the House of the Undying that Dany saw, was of Rhaegar saying that his son was the prince that was promised, and his song was the Song of Ice and Fire. So that might just throw everything into the, unless that vision was just some sort of a weird, like not fever dream, but like something concocted by the wizards in the House of the Undying, and it wasn't true. Dany is infertile, but Jon is magic. He'll get his aunt pregnant. Watch. Dany is claimed to be infertile, but who knows? Yes, maybe Jon does have that super seed, the super seed that will supersede the prophecy. So Tyrion Lannister. Let's at least read Tyrion's. Tyrion is the rarest of all things in Westeros, a smart person with scruples. While Ned may have shown more moral fortitude, his gullibility made him a quick casualty in the Game of Thrones. And while Littlefinger may have more insight in how to manipulate and exploit a situation, he only ever really does it for his own benefit. But Tyrion expends those same qualities to protect a realm and a family, up to a point, that rejects him at every turn. His willingness to rise above his circumstances and his own notable failings to turn his intelligence and connections toward doing whatever he needs to do to keep the realm safe. Peter Dinklage. All right, so he is number one. Let me show you guys my Tyrion as the Hand on the Throne, in case you haven't seen it already. Tyrion Hand. All right, let's open. Where? It's just quick looking. Quick looking. Here we go. So here's how Tyrion, according to the books, more likely looks. So he's got one green eye, one black eye, which are crooked on his face. And he should have that smashed up dwarven, ugly sort of a face. And he may even look too good here. But then obviously he loses his nose. So anyhow, there it is. Mike, who is your favorite house? I am House Stark. I am a Stark. So sorry. Although now Jon is a Targaryen, maybe it's House Targaryen. I do love the Targaryen lore a lot. So I don't know. I can have more than one favorite, can't I? Yeah. So there's Tyrion on his throne of the hand, not throne, but whatever. I had fun with this piece. So, anyways. Thank you, everyone, for being here to watch me go through this long-winded. How do I get back? Where am I trying to be here? I know it was kind of long, but it was 100 bloody characters to go through. So thanks for being here. I'll pop in a little later to do some live drawing if you guys want to hop back with me. So thank you, and y'all have a good day.